to filling in as America's 31st president from 1929 to 1933, Herbert Hoover had made global progress as a mining engineer and overall appreciation as the incomparable compassionate person and who took care of war-torn Europe during and after the Second Great War. Child of a Quaker metalworker, Herbert Clark Hoover brought to the administration an unrivaled standing for public help as a designer, head, and philanthropic. Brought into the world in an Iowa town in 1874, he experienced childhood in Oregon. He selected at Stanford College when it opened in 1891. Graduating as a mining engineer, he wedded his Stanford darling, Lou Henry, and they went to China, where he worked for a confidential organization as China's driving designer. In June 1900, the fighter resistance got the Hoovers in Tientsin. For very nearly a month the settlement was under weighty fire. While his significant other worked in the emergency clinics, Hoover coordinated the structure of blockades, and when put his life in extreme danger protecting Chinese youngsters. Multi-week before Hoover commended his 40th birthday celebration in London, Germany, pronounced battle on France, and the American emissary general asked his assistance in getting abandoned travelers home. In about a month and a half his board of trustees assisted 120,000 Americans with getting back to the U.S. Next Hoover went to an undeniably more troublesome undertaking, to take care of Belgium, which had been invaded by the German armed force. After the U.S. entered the conflict, President Wilson named Hoover top of the Food Organization. He prevailed with regards to cutting utilization of food varieties required abroad and abstained from proportioning at home, yet kept the partners fed. After the peace negotiation, Hoover, an individual from the preeminent financial chamber and top of the American Help Organization, coordinated shipments of nourishment for starving millions in focal Europe. He stretched out help to starvation-stricken Soviet Russia in 1921, at the point when a pundit asked in the event that he was not subsequently helping Bolshevism. Hoover countered, and 20 million individuals are starving. Anything their legislative issues, they will be taken care of, and after competently filling in as Secretary of Business under Presidents Harding and Coolidge, Hoover turned into the conservative official chosen one out of 1928. He said then, at that point, and we in America today are closer to the last victory over neediness than at any other time throughout the entire existence of any land. And his political decision appeared to guarantee flourishing. However, inside the space of months the securities exchange crashed, and the country spiraled descending into sorrow. After the accident, Hoover reported that while he would keep the government financial plan adjusted, he would reduce government expenditures and extend public works spending. His rivals in Congress, who he felt were disrupting his program for their own political addition, unreasonably painted him as a hard and brutal president. Hoover turned into the substitute for the downturn and was gravely crushed in 1932. In the 1930s he turned into a strong pundit of the new arrangement, cautioning against propensities toward statism. In 1947 President Truman designated Hoover to a commission, which chose him director, to rearrange the chief offices. He was delegated director of a comparative commission by President Eisenhower in 1953. Numerous economies came about because of the two commissions' proposals. Throughout the long term, Hoover composed many articles and books, one of which he was dealing with when he passed on at 90 in New York City on October 20, 1964.